Hey there, and welcome to Marina's Movie Club. This is a podcast where we talk about our favorite movies. My name is Ethan. I am your producer and co-host. Along with me is our beautiful host and namesake of the podcast, my film school sweetheart, Marina. Hi, Marina.
Hi.
Hey.
That was a nice intro.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, how are you today? And also, maybe a big welcome to everybody listening for the very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good.
To answer your first question.
Yes.
Your only question. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. Well, I think maybe a good place to start would be, why are we making this podcast in the first place? What's your background in film?
Okay, we're making this podcast because we're just big fans of movies.
Huge fan
of all kinds. And my background is that I graduated from Azusa Pacific University with a degree in film criticism
And you're
screen
published.
Studies. Yeah. I
Yeah.
have been published in LA Weekly
I think
and
that's
Pasadena
just
Magazine.
so cool. Yeah. Very, very LA.
So 1-time/2-time film critic.
Yeah. And it's a hard industry to break into, because I feel like there's only like one or two film criticism jobs in the world that people like really get consistently.
There's like just one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're making our own.
Yep.
Here we are.
You know, if you can't find a film criticism job, just do it yourself. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they
You
say.
don't need someone to
You don't need
employ you.
No. So anyways, this is, we're going to be talking about our favorite films. We're going to bring on friends to talk about their favorite films. A lot of us don't have a lot of qualifications to even talk about film. I was a film major for a whole year in college before I switched over to graphic design. But
Was it only 1 year?
I know,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
wow.
So, but the idea is that we just love movies so much, and we know a lot about them, but don't want to take a pretentious approach of thinking that we're too stuck up and snobby to, do a Disney movie every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, maybe Hallmark movies in December.
Oh, for sure.
But also, doing some cult classics. Like one of our first episodes is going to be Casablanca with our good friend Raleigh. So that's a lot of stuff to look forward to. But it's generally, if you love films, then this is the podcast for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Speaking of, what is your favorite movie of all time? It's like picking a favorite child.
Okay, well, the question I was thinking of asking you, because I feel like everyone has, like when you ask what's your favorite movie, it's like, I feel like everyone has at least 3 they have to put.
Okay.
So my question was going to be, what's your 4th favorite movie?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, this. So you're just skirting my question.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. That's fine. So I think in order to get to my 4th favorite movie, I have to do my top 3.
Okay.
And then I can then answer my 4th. But also I'm a verbal processor, which is, I guess, helpful for our podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would say number 1, as you know, is About Time with Rachel McAdams and that other guy that I always forget the name of. But he's a redheaded fellow. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Movie about this guy who learns that every male in his family lineage can travel through time, and he uses it to find love. And I thought it was going to be a sappy rom-com, kind of chick flick at first, but it ended up changing my outlook on life. And I mean that seriously. I live differently because of that movie. It's very awesome. I think it's a big reason why I have such a positive outlook on life. And, lots of other reasons on top of that, but I think that movie puts a lot of words to my feelings about life, So anyways,
that's just like your top.
That's just my top.
There's no challenge. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if any.
Maybe
it's
you
also,
aren't the person to ask this question to then.
Well, it's just, I think it hits a very sentimental chord for me because of my story in life. So I think all of that going into this that has to be my top, and I don't know if something else is going to top that for a very long time.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think, goes to probably Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Or number 3, it kind of goes in between Baby Driver or School of Rock. Jack Black.
Yeah.
Just because I think School of Rock was a film that I grew up with. Again, very sentimental to me. It's so funny. I could quote the whole thing front to back. I just watched it over and over again. And I don't know if I've seen a comedy that's like as core to my humor as that film.
Yeah.
But then my 4th movie, I think, is even harder to, because I think like, those are the 3 that I go to very often.
Yeah.
If someone asks, like, what are my favorite movie? I feel like that's a good roundabout answer of like I love the editing and the score in Baby Driver. You know, Whiplash is actually up there.
Wow.
I just was reminded about Whiplash the other day by a friend.
Yeah, you just texted me about how we have to do an episode about it.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that's also a good one. What's that one with? There's a Will Smith movie where he's kind of like mourning the loss of his daughter, and then he needs like he goes to like
beautiful.
I don't know.
We literally so often you're trying to tell people that this is one of your favorite movies, and we can never remember the name of it.
People are probably screaming at their phone right now.
We Google it, and then we're like, oh yeah, we need to, like, obviously, how did we not remember that? We'll remember it next time.
Yeah.
This is like the third time in recent history I remember us talking about it, though. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I think all of those are pretty far up there. Give me...
Oh.
What?
I was going to say like Collateral Beauty, but it's not Collateral, but it's something like that.
I think that is the name of the film.
Collateral?
Collateral Beauty. I'm
so sorry if we're wrong.
Yeah.
Will Smith and lovers of that movie. Something like that. Google that.
Yep.
You'll find it.
You'll find it. It's a great one. Okay. Your fourth favorite film.
Okay. I'm struggling a little bit because you said Baby Driver, and I almost want to say that. I think
when we found it, we watched it, I think 8 times.
Yeah, it's so good. I haven't seen it in so long that I feel like I don't feel confident putting it at number 4, but it's up there.
It's one of those that I think I need to rewatch because I watched it sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
First time, which was what, like 6
years
ago?
Don't ask me to do math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not in college.
No. And we watched it, like those 8 times we watched it were like all within a week. And then I don't think I've watched it outside
I think because
of
we
that
were just
week.
showing our friends the movie and just loved it so much.
Yeah, so I need to make sure it's still a good movie.
Yeah, can't fully vet it completely, but I just know it's a good one.
Yeah.
I know it's up there.
I think I'd say The Big Year because I feel like I need I need like a funny one in my top 5.
Another Jack Black.
Yeah. Steve Martin.
Owen Wilson.
Oh my gosh. Surprised that that's like the only Owen Wilson movie that's in my top 5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Cars, obviously, so. Cars 1 through 3, top 3.
Genuinely great films.
And yeah.
Like, you can't argue with me on that. It's just
They're
Pixar is so
actually.
great.
Yeah. Speaking of the best movie ever, Cars.
Right. Mummy is another fantastic movie. And I don't say that very seriously. I actually have never seen the movie.
No, I've never seen it.
But
I like
a good
the ride.
segue. Yeah, sure. Great ride at Universal. A good segue into how Marina and I actually met was at Azusa Pacific University in our film program. We had a directing class together. Professor Greg.
Yes.
Always
Love
did
Greg.
Such a great job teaching those 10 story points. So fun. And we also had a mutual friend who was Marina's roommate. She set us up on a date, and the rest is history. But we did a whole year of film school together. We took a really great aesthetics class.
Oh, yeah, that was such a good class.
Yeah, with Jay. He was great. Loved what we learned there. And I think it changed the way I watch movies.
Yeah.
And I know if I had continued down a production line of work that I also would be implementing a lot of that. But the thing that I loved about that class was how much we had talked about like the metaphysical and the physical, like meeting in the middle with film and just how much film can communicate through what's on the screen or what you're hearing.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel something. And we kind of got into the science of it. And it was so cool. But that's where Marina and I spent a lot of time together, spent the first year of our relationship together. And our whole relationship is kind of based off of this mutual love of film because that's how we kind of got to know each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like freshman year also was just a lot of us and our friends watching movies.
I
And
remember
everyone watching everyone's favorite movie.
Yeah.
What was your favorite movie that you made everyone watch? We would go like every night, or not every night, but every night we did this. We would pull someone's name out of a hat, and then that person would have to choose the movie that we watched, and it was supposed to be like your favorite movie
of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
So then we could all have a mutual love of everyone's favorite movies, which is a great idea, and I want to do that.
Yeah.
More. Anyways.
We should do that again.
Yeah. What's yours?
I think my favorite film at the time was still About Time.
Did we watch that?
I'm
We
90%
probably
sure.
did. Yeah. I think
Because I found that film in high school, and I remember watching it twice in a row, crying both times, and I'm like, this is life-changing. So,
I think mine was The Prestige.
oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about The Prestige. I love that film.
I know. I loved that movie at the time. I feel like that was one of my first Christopher Nolan films that I watched. And yeah, I want to rewatch that because I kind of forgot about liking that movie.
There's another Christopher Nolan film that I should probably have in my top 5, but I forget it off the top of my head. But I think Christopher Nolan was one of those directors that when I was in high school, I found him and then I was like, whoa, movies are cool. Like
Yeah.
there's a level of like, I enjoy going to the movies with my friends. And then I think in high school, it all of a sudden became like, oh my gosh, like movies are art and they're beautiful. and then I just got obsessed and I started watching the Every Frame a Painting YouTube channel.
Classic.
So good. If you haven't watched that, I don't think he makes
Which
videos
also,
anymore.
yeah, I was going to say, can we start a petition to like resurrect that?
Yeah, it was so
There's
good.
only like, I was just looking at it the other day. There's only like 27 videos that he has.
But they're like college level
They're so
education.
good.
It's so neat to like learn from it. It's just so well produced
Yeah.
as a video creator.
Well, check out our Patreon and we'll have like a petition over there probably.
Or you know
We
what?
could start.
We should reach out to him and try to get him on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
That would be a thing.
That would be so cool.
I would.
Yeah.
I think I would be so starstruck if that
I
happened.
know.
That and then the other people that really formed my film bone in my body was Film Riot.
Oh yeah.
Because I think
Yeah.
they were perfect for like, I didn't have money in high school to go get any good video equipment. So then me and my friends would just watch a couple Film Riot tutorials of how to pull off a different look on camera, or, you know, different like cheap lighting tricks, all that kind of stuff to elevate the look of your film. And I think that was good little hacks for especially the freshman year film school thing of we didn't get all of the fancy equipment. We were just working with a little DSLR and mainly focusing on story and writing rather than getting too far into the production feel. And then that was a lot of what had kind of shaped how well I did in my freshman year of film school, was just knowing all those little hacks that you can do when you don't have a big budget, but you can still pull off some great effects.
And I feel like that reminds me of something that I feel like is good for this podcast, is that I wasn't very into Film Riot or the technical side of film. I'm more into like the story side of film. And I feel like that's good for this podcast because you're more technically,
That's true.
like, you like the technical stuff. I like the story stuff.
Yeah.
And so,
Those are good, well-rounded points of view. Yeah. But I do think that all of the technical pieces had kind of come together into my love of editing movies, because I think I had always wanted to be more behind the scenes. I've always loved computer stuff. So just being behind the scenes in general, like I really wanted to get into CGI or, you know, post-compositing, all that kind of stuff. And that's what I wanted to kind of push my emphasis towards if I were to continue film school. But that's kind of when I got into my live broadcast career, which I am no longer in. But it's a fun way to kind of put everything back together in a podcast. It kind of feels like my live production career again.
yeah, which is another reason why we wanted to start this.
Yeah, it's a good way for
fun for you
for
too.
me to be creative and to continue to edit things and without needing to do all of the work of, you know, producing full movies and all that kind of stuff. But maybe that would be a fun thing in the future to put out a movie of our own. Very short, like a short film. But like, I don't know. I haven't tried it in so long. I feel like I've learned so much in between college and now that I would be so much better at it.
I do have a dream of getting like all of our college friends together.
Oh,
so, you know, if you're listening to this, come.
Let's get the band back together.
I know.
For one last hurrah. An encore tour. That'd be so fun.
Because I feel like our skills are also diversified also. Like everyone went into different things.
Yeah, that's true.
That together, I feel like we could really make a pretty good film.
Yeah. And on top of you doing film criticism and what was the other?
Screen studies is like the official name. Yeah.
So you
and
had
philosophy, but
yeah, which is very fun. They kind of go hand in hand in a funny way. But you had on set done a lot of production design, and I thought you were really, really good at it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I loved it. Well, for the most part, I loved it.
And it kind of goes back to in high school, you were in theater, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you kind of had a love of set design and then you kind of translated it, or how did that come out?
I guess so. I feel like I hadn't really thought about it I did mainly stage managing, but I also did props. And then I also would just help out with the set design. It wasn't technically my job, but I would just, go and help other people. Well, I guess I took a class on it, so I guess maybe a little bit. But yeah, I had never thought about that before.
Well, there
but
you go.
I love it.
Yeah. Perks of me knowing you so well.
Yeah.
I can connect the dots for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in, for giving our podcast a shot. We wanted to give you the opportunity to get in touch with us. If you reach out to us on Instagram, that'll probably be our best place to see your messages. It's at Marina's Movie Club on Instagram. And we also have a Letterboxd, which is...
Movie Club Pod.
Yeah, so if you're on Letterboxd, if you're curious about our film reviews, I don't know how in-depth they'll be because we're mainly going to do the film reviews in spoken form on this podcast.
Yeah, but we'll at least have a list of films that we've watched and have on the podcast and stuff.
So that'll be fun.
We can see your reviews.
Right. And if you're ever interested of being so generous to us, it would help our podcast a lot if you considered going to our Patreon. We're going to have ad-free versions of the episodes that come out every other week. And then in between those weeks, we're going to have extra bonus episodes, Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
So if you just can't get enough, that's a good place to get a little bit more.
Yeah. And if you don't want to pay money, you could also just review us, and that would help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop
Only
us,
if you like us.
Well,
if you don't like us,
don't review
you don't
us.
have to review us.
Yeah.
That's okay. Don't go through the
Don't
trouble.
worry about it. I want to save you the time.
Yeah. We care about you.
That's why I don't want you to leave a 1-star review. It's a selfless act for you.
Yeah.
That's really...
Please leave a good review.
5-star reviews are the best way to help us out, whether you're on iTunes or... Isn't that called Apple Music now?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. If you could leave us a good review, that would be the best way to support us by far.
Post on Instagram.
Yeah, just
Whatever
get the word out.
Yeah.
This will be so fun.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to go on this journey with you, fellow film lovers. We wanted to say thank you for tuning in for our very first and introduction episode. We're going to get to know you guys a lot better. If you ever have questions, film suggestions, or anything else that you want to get in touch with us, again, Instagram is the best place to talk to us.
Yeah.
Eventually, we'd love to do some listener mails. If you want to record your own little 1-minute review of a film so that we can include it on the podcast, I think that would be a really fun thing to introduce into the future.
Yeah.
Anything. Get in touch with us.
And feedback.
We
want
love
to
it.
do what you want.
Yeah.
You know?
This
we
is
don't
for
know.
you.
Made this
It's
for
for
you.
It's for the people. Anyways, we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, signing off for now. And end credits fade to black.
Finn.
Finn.